Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here from HumboldtCraftworks. How you doing today? Sorry it's been a while. I've been quite busy at work. This is getting to be my busy season and it's really hard for me to take time to make little videos. But it's been like a month. Sorry. Today I'd like to talk about a few things. Safety wise, I've been doing a lot of milling on the table saw, a lot of joining of really small skinny little pieces. Like, you know, how do you join something that's that skinny? I'm gonna show you. It's not too hard, it's pretty simple. And I've seen a lot of things about using push sticks. Push stick. This is the push stick I use. I've used it forever. I've seen a lot of people make, yeah, this one gets used. This was only like a couple days old. I've seen a lot of people make videos on, this is the most ultimate thing in the whole entire world. How to make the most ultimate push stick. The ultimate push stick. Push sticks are a tool like anything else. They're for your safety. So your fingers don't get too close to the blade when you're pushing a piece of wood through. That's all they're for. I've seen people paint them, round them all over, beautiful. Round them all over, use apple ply. Like see that? That's just, this is just cheap CDX plywood that I had, a piece of scrap. I don't really get into making my push sticks. It's more like a chore, because, yeah, I mean, I use this every single day, don't get me wrong, but more than anything, I use these. And why do I use my hands and my fingers when I'm milling? Well, because I guess I'm old-fashioned. I'm used to being that close to the blade, which is dangerous, but I know it's dangerous. And I also have like 25, 30 years of experience milling and building stuff. So for those of you who don't know, or haven't been to my channel before, I'm a woodworking contractor up here in Humboldt County, California. Beautiful sunny day today. Yay. I gotta go mow the yard after this because the grass grew like this much overnight. The best kind of push stick for you is the one that fits your hand comfortably. The one that's got a nice big shoe like this. So as I said before, I just make these out of scrap. Whatever's laying around. If I have scrap mahogany, scrap walnut, whatever's laying around, and I do whatever is comfortable. Okay, for me, since I got old hands, a lot of people are like, oh, you don't want this. Like, so when you're working on the table saw, you don't want to push your hand down because you're going to stick your hand. If you get a kickback, your hand's going to go into the blade. Dude, I said dude. So if you're holding on to your push stick, whatever, however you like it, you're not going to stick your hand in the blade. Push stick. Very safe to use push sticks. Don't worry about, you know, some people have the push stick where the handle's straight up. And I don't understand that at all. This one, you can maneuver your hand any way you want. So if you want to work, I'm going to back up here. So if you want to work and you're going to push it through the saw like this, you want to keep your hand like that, that's fine. If you want to put your hand on top, that's fine. If you want to put your thumb on the top like this and push down, not so much. I don't really do it like that. I usually keep my hand to the back and push down on the front as I'm going through the saw. And I'll show you all that later. But I've seen a lot of videos. I mean, some people spend hours making weird little things with holes in them. And some people like round them over, make them all nice, polish them up, and spray them with finish. They don't do this for a living. I make these as fast as possible on my bandsaw. If you don't have a bandsaw and you have like a jigsaw, use a jigsaw. There are lots of people who will give you a little design. Oh, you can have this design on a PDF. Make your own, man. Here, look. There you go. So the most important thing is that this is roughly 12 inches long. And it's about 6.5 inches tall. They can be super skinny, super tall. The most important thing to remember is when you're milling wood is the thickness of your wood. If you're milling something that's an inch thick, okay, the heel, which is right here, You want it to be, how do I get this in frame? Oh, all right, there. So the distance between here and here, okay, needs to be smaller than your piece of wood. Let me see if I can show it like this here. See how it's got a gap and you push against it? That's no good. So the thinner your wood, the thinner you want your heel to be. So you got a little bit of space in there. And some people will say, well, you want it to be a little lower and blah, 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 so it doesn't do a wheelie on you. I've milled thousands and thousands of board feet of wood in 30 years. That works just fine, okay? A little bit of gap, okay? What doesn't work good is to have it like this. See, it's not touching here. You want it to be touching. You want it touching. A little gap here is fine. So that's one thing to remember. So if you're gonna have something like 1.5 inches, you might wanna make your heel a little longer. It doesn't have to be longer, but if this was 1.5 inches and this was 1.5 inches, that'd be okay. Yeah. So when they get like this, throw them away. That's why I don't spend a lot of time at all making a push stick. This one's probably like, see, look, gone. This one's probably, I don't know, a week old, maybe 2 weeks old. I make like 5 or 10 at a time, and at the end of the project, they're all gone. They go in the trash or they get burned up. That's why I don't spend a lot of time making push sticks. So push sticks. Use push stick every single day. Don't spend a lot of time making them. Make what's comfortable for your hand. Once you figure out what you like, make a little 1/4 inch template of it and use that, because everybody's grip is different. Some people have ginormously fat hands like me. Some people have long skinny fingers. Some people have little tiny fingers. Make what's comfortable for you. I only use push sticks when I'm using wood that's 2 inches and under, and sometimes I don't even do that. Anything smaller than 1 inch, I definitely would use a push stick. It's safer. Even if you've been doing it for 30 years like I have, you get complacent and there goes your finger. You can't replace a finger. And I understand why people try to use their 2 sticks at a time, and that's just silly. I'm going to let you in on a little woodworking secret. When you're milling, make sure you're wearing an apron to protect yourself. Your tape goes right there. I've had plenty of kickbacks in my time. With your tape strategically placed, it won't hurt as bad. Especially, you know, down there. So, tape in your apron, always, they keep you safer. It's like wearing a cup, but it's 20 feet long. Yeah. Okay. Alright everybody, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. You know, I'm just a woodworker like you, trying to help people out. So if you have any questions or comments, please do so below. If you haven't subscribed, hit the little subscribe button and hit the little bell notification thing, so you get notifications from me and all the baloney I'm spewing your way, because I do spew a lot of baloney. Anyway, on a serious note, don't spend a lot of time making these things. These little push sticks, you're going to eat them up quickly. If you spend an hour of your time making them, and maybe you like making push sticks, you can make them out of like 3 different layers of wood, and you can round them over and sand them and just put your name on them and spray them with lacquer and make them all pretty and hang them up on the wall. Then you're going to go to use them, you're going to cut them up, and a week later they're going to look like this. And then they're no good once they're like this, and then you just throw them away. Yeah, I made it in the bucket. All right. So you heard my baloney about these here things. This is all just my opinion, my advice to you as a woodworker, as a fellow woodworker and somebody who's been doing it for a long time. I just want you guys to learn faster than I did. I can go on and on about people and dumb things and accidents, and usually accidents happen either when you're tired, not paying attention, or you got something else on your mind. When you're working with power tools, pay attention to what you're doing. Please be careful. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. No. Do what makes you feel comfortable. If you're comfortable with using your hands, then do it. I would much rather run a piece of wood through a table saw using my hands than two pieces of wood that I can't feel what the blade's doing, what the wood's doing, the whole thing. It's kind of an organic thing. You're paying attention to what the wood's doing and how it's going through, and on it goes. And the longer you do this stuff, the more you'll recognize the fact that, okay, I use a push stick for anything that's less than an inch. Out of habit. If it's 1/4 inch or even smaller, you got to be paying more attention. If you're ripping 1/4 inch pieces of wood and your push stick looks like this and it's all chewed up, you're going to ask for blowouts and kickbacks and all sorts of crazy things. And I've had plenty of them. There's a video that had a couple of them right here when I was milling butcher blocks. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I really appreciate everyone. Sign up for the butcher block giveaway. As soon as I get to 100, somebody's going to get a butcher block. I have 2, so I might give 2 away when I get to 100. They're both awesome. And yeah, I say and a lot. And thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next time on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin, because that's me. Bye. Oh, I got wedgie. Oh, poopy. It says it split in 2. I'm seeing double. How are you? It's been a while. Oh, everything looks big. Oh, a little dusty. I have the anti-duster right here. I'm gonna fix you right up. Hold still. Oh.